Hey everybody, Mr. Polymers here with the H501S. Very windy day. It must be 15-20 mile an hour winds. So I'm just going to do a quick little test of the Hubsan with the newest firmware. I'll include the firmware here on the video. Okay, the Hubsan's asking me for compass calibration, so let's go ahead and do that. Again, very important to do a very precise compass calibration. Here, I'll go ahead and put the transmitter down. Stick it out in front of you and rotate until she goes green. There she goes green. Again, I'm going to rotate it nose down. There, she is compass calibrated. It's very windy here today, folks, so I'm going to wait till I get, I've got 6 satellites on the transmitter and the quad. I'm going to let that go up to about 10 or 12. I'll give it a few minutes. Supposed to get to 81 degrees today, but the winds are very, you can see the wind sock over here. They're coming from the west at a pretty good clip. I'd say 15-20 miles an hour. So I'm just doing this to kind of test, to show you folks the newest firmware, what she does on return to home, follow me mode, etc. So we are currently at 10 satellites on the quad and only 6 on the transmitter. So I'm going to wait a little longer. 7. You can see that. 7 on the transmitter. Then we'll just give her a minute or two. 9, 11 transmitter, 11 on the quad. So that should be good enough. Let's go ahead and take her off. Again, everything's off. It's on altitude hold mode. We're going to go ahead and operate the... Again, that wind is really blowing. Let's go ahead and get the video on. I can't see for the life of me here. The video's on. She is being blown like crazy with the wind. Let's bring her back over here. Okay, we're going to go in GPS hold. There she is, GPS hold. Just going to fight these winds. Let me get her out a little farther. Not a real fair test to the Hubsan. Normally these winds are just far too extreme, but let's go ahead and hit on follow me mode. Throw the switch up. Now the quad should rotate toward me. Well, in fact, she's not rotating toward me at all. She's facing north. Stick her off follow me mode, bring her back. Let's do that again. She's on GPS, follow me mode. Follow me mode's on. Alright, come toward me. Here she goes. She's doing better. Okay. Again, we're doing follow me mode. I appear to be in the viewfinder, or the screen. So this is good. Again, GPS on, follow me mode on. Alright, let's go ahead and take her off follow mode. She's back on GPS. Let's go ahead and take her off GPS. We're in altitude hold again. Again, this is my favorite mode. Altitude hold mode. Again, not a real fair test on how she flies because these winds are pretty brutal. Let's go ahead and fly her around a little bit. She's fighting at about 15-20 mile an hour wind coming up. Now my builds, my King Kong builds can handle this wind much better than the Hubsan. Okay, let's go ahead and do a let's do a headless mode. Headless mode is on. I'm going to push forward on the stick. I'm going to go and turn her left, push forward on the stick. As you see, I'm pushing forward on the stick. Let's bring her back. No matter how I rotate it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That wind is nasty. This is headless mode, folks. She's working good. And I'm going to rotate her. I'm going left with the stick, and she continues to go left. And I'm going to bring the stick back. Drop the throttle, rotate her around, and as you see, headless mode's working fine. I don't really care for it, but this should show you folks it's working good. Oh, get down, get down, get down. I'm going to take her off headless mode, go back into altitude hold. This wind is absolutely brutal. Alright, let's take her out here. We're going to do a return to home. So put our GPS lock. Okay, she's on return to home. And you will notice something different. On the new firmware, return to home is programmed to come to where the transmitter is. So she's actually right above me. I'm going to take her off return to home. I'm not sure I like that feature. I'd rather have her return to the point to where where the motors were armed. So I'm not a real fan with that return home to the transmitter. I can see, in theory, it may be a good idea, say you had to chase the quad and you wanted to return to home where you were versus the home point. Okay, let's try one other function. And I believe that return to home did face the waypoint. So, in fact, let's do that one more time. Let's go ahead and put her in GPS. She's in GPS mode. And I'm going to hit return to home. Now the quad should face me. This is a good function. I can see myself. And again, she'll come to wherever I'm at. Now I'm close to the pad here, so she should, fighting that wind, she should drop right here. Again, I'm not a fan of this because it literally wants to drop right on top of me. Alright. We'll take her off return to home, take her off GPS, get her out. We have a few members racing their quads, doing POV, or FOV. FPV, Jesus Christ, FPV, first person video. And we have a couple of our members over there doing FPV. Okay, let me show you another function with the new firmware, the latest firmware from Hubsan. Okay, we're going to do a orbit mode. So I'm walking out here in the field. I'm going to put her out a little bit. Okay, for orbit mode, you've got to engage GPS and the down. If you see the down button, you got to push that until it beeps. There she goes. This is orbit mode. Now the quad should orbit around me. And I guess half-ass face me. She is facing me. I was not real impressed when I did this earlier last week. I was not overly impressed with orbit mode. It seems like she's doing better now. Again, I'm doing nothing with the transmitter. Now I believe orbit mode's only good for 80 meters. And I'm not quite sure if she'll stop on one orbit or not. She may just keep going. Let's see. She's not real accurate. Again, she's not really pointing at me, and she's kind of a little closer. But again, that could be the wind. But she's continuing to orbit. So orbit mode, she will continue to orbit until I take her off. So again, with orbit mode, you need to have GPS on. and you need to hit the down arrow switch. So we're going to go ahead and take her off. GPS, that should take her off, and that's it, folks. That's my Hubsan H501S with the fixed pigtail, fixed locator switch on the right stick, and I don't appear to be having any range issues. Again, I'm not going to take her out that far, but I do have a 7 decibel antenna. As you see, I don't have the stock antenna on. I have a little bigger antenna. So let me go ahead and swing her around here. I am full pitch forward. Again, I'm just on altitude hold mode. I'm going to take her out. Folks, I lost sight of it. I'm still getting telemetry. She's actually coming back to me. Folks, that's a classic example why I like return to home. She's still flying. I'm getting telemetry. Where is she? Folks, I have lost sight of her. She's way up high. She's right above us. We're at 63 meters, 30 meters up. There she is, folks. Now, believe it or not, this time she went back to the home point. I'm going to take her off. Folks, that's truly amazing. I literally lost sight of the thing. It was my fault. I was looking down at the transmitter. And I went ahead and put her in return to home, and thank God she brought herself back. So that's one great advantage to return to home. So I'm going to go ahead and land her on the thing here, on the strip. Good enough. Mr. Powers, hope you enjoyed the video. Again, even though I'm an experienced flyer, I actually lost sight of this. And one reason why it's very important to have return to home. This, again, with these winds, the combination of winds, and again, me losing sight of it, it did bring the quad back. So we'll talk to you guys later.